AutoCAD drawings get dirty. What I mean is that they get bloated with data and styles that aren't being used anymore. They may not have ever been used, in fact, but were brought in through either other blocks, inserted files, or by reusing other files to start a new one. This happens. It's unavoidable. It can, however, get in the way or even slow down the program because it has to remember all of these things. One of the biggest deals is the size of the files. If they're too big, then you're going to have trouble emailing them to others, or they're going to take up too much room on your server or hard drive or a disk or anything. So let's open up the Architectural Annotation Scaling and Multi-Leaders file. I know that's a mouthful. This is a bloated file. Now, one thing that we're going to do is to delete what we don't need anymore, once your drawing is finished. Once an object, a layer, style, or block isn't being used anymore, you can purge them from the file. To do this, type in the word purge. Press enter. The command alias is PU. Now this opens up your purge window. There are two options at the top, unused items and used items. The unused items are just things that you can purge out of the drawing. They're there, but you're not using them anymore. Now the items you cannot purge, well, those are things that are being used. You can't purge them out of your system. So if you delete an item, is it really gone? Well, it depends on what it is. Objects are gone, but blocks, layers, styles, they stay in the drawing. They're taking up room in the file because it remembers them. AutoCAD assumes that since you put them in there to begin with, you're going to want to use them throughout the life of the file. If we take a look at this list right now of items that can be purged, it's empty. There's nothing that we can purge out of right now. So what does that mean, and how can I tell that? Well, if there was something in here, there would be a little plus sign so that we can open it up and we can view everything that can be purged. Let me show you. If I select the items that cannot be purged, you see now everything has a plus sign by it. If I click it to expand it out, these are all of the blocks that are in the file. I can scroll down, and some of them have weird names like this D36. Others have things like stare, revision, outstanding con, etc. But I can't get rid of them. Well, let's make it so that I can get rid of some things. Well, that's pretty easy to do. Use your erase command, and let's just erase all of this stuff here. Don't save the file because we may need it later on, but I just wanted to show you some things. Type in purge, or just the letter PU, and now here we have items that we can purge out. We have some blocks, we have some layers. We're not using them anymore. So if I expand it out, here are a list of different blocks that we were using in that area right here, but we're no longer using them. So maybe we don't need them. Here are different layers that we don't need anymore. Those objects were on those layers, but they were the only objects that were on these layers, so we don't need them anymore. So what do? Well, you just hit the purge command. It will ask you now one at a time, which one of these items do you want to purge? Do you want to purge block star D27? If you do, click purge this item. If not, skip it. If you want to purge everything in this list of blocks, just say purge all items. And everything is gone. You can look through your list, you see everything is not there, so we're good. We just decrease the size of our file, just like that. Now, there are items that are nested. Nested items can be a pain because it was very difficult before in the past to get rid of them, but now it's a little bit easier. Let's undo this so we can see it again. Start the purge command. Now our items are here. Sometimes a block will have a layer in it that's only used in that block. Well, if so, then it won't be listed in our layers because it's being used in a block. Now, once we get rid of the block, nothing is using that layer again. So it will come down, and here we'll have to do the purge command again. So that's annoying. What you can do is purge nested items. So that will get rid of all the stuff that's being used by other things that you get rid of that nothing else is getting rid of or using. So it's complicated, I know. But let's say we have a block and it's using layer XYZ, and it's the only thing using layer XYZ. If we purge the block, the layer XYZ is still in there because we didn't tell it to purge it because it wasn't listed. When I use the purge command, the only items that will be purged are what are listed here. So sometimes items are nested inside the other purgeable items, so that means they're being used. Well, if you want to automatically purge nested items that aren't being used anywhere else, you can click the Purge Nested Items. Select Purge All, pick Purge All Items, and it will get rid of everything that it can in one shot. Otherwise, you'll have to go back and use the purge command several times until nothing shows up in your list anymore. If you want to purge something specific, like just one block or just one layer, you can come here, pick the one layer, and select Purge. Not Purge All, just Purge. And you say, yes, I want to purge this item, and it does, and it leaves everything else in. Now that's a good way to clean up your file just a little bit, but not just delete everything. Once you're done working in your file, you've submitted it, you've printed it, it's done, it's good, you're not going to work on it anymore, or at least odds are you're not going to, that's a good time to purge. Or if you're going to email a file to somebody, that's another good time to purge your file. Otherwise, I suggest waiting until you're done to purge the file, unless it's just way too big and you need the space. Because you never know when you're going to need that extra layer. If it was brought into there at one time, you're probably going to need it again, odds are, but you may not. So I would wait to purge till you're all done, and then save your file, and then go back about your business. Because once you purge it, it's gone. You can't get it back unless you recreate that layer or that block or that text style. But if you have a good template file that keeps everything in it according to your standards, you can always reinsert it or bring it back in. So just be careful when purging, make sure you really want to, and then purge away.